Shahryar wins it.
Okay, well Shahryar was my pick, but I think Authority has a huge chance as well for Christophe Lemaire. So could it be 5 wins on the night for Japan? They've got 5 in here. Christophe Lemaire won this race with Heart's Cry a few years ago. They're nearly all in then for our Longines Dubai Shii Mak Classic.
Shahryar and Yubiaer. 7 runners left to take up their position, laid out behind Yubiaer. Winton for the top will be next. Glory Vase, Dubai Honor, Burgas, Dubai Future. Shahryar still need to come in. There goes Glory Vase, Burgas, Dubai Honor. Dubai Honor. Now loads. Dubai Future. Shahryar. A class renewal. The Longines Dubai Shii Mak Classic. Handlers get away. All set. Gates are back. And they fired away. Stella Veloce a step slow. Yubiaer happy to race towards the end of the field along with Glory Vase. They're going to bank on a good pace. Pile Driver one of the first to break, but being restrained. Shahryar gets forward. Then Authority in the light blue cap going around, and Authority picks up the lead out of the straight. Shahryar races in second. Then comes Alan Kerr, the light blue colours, in third. One off the rail for the top, takes a tug at the outside. Hukum's in the white and blue colours with Pile Driver for company. Burgas a lot closer, but is 3 deep at the outside. Then a length away to Dubai Honor, now being joined by Glory Vase against the inside rail. After them, Dubai Future off the course, blue jacket and white cap, half a length away to Dubai Honor, then comes Without a Fight. There's no real pace on. Stella Veloce 3/4 of the way back, half a length away to Uber Leben. Then comes Casper, who's won from last, and Yubiaer's got the entire field to get past. Now they're on the back straight. Pace is a little bit more genuine, but certainly not record breaking. It's Authority in the lead by just over 1 length. Shahryar races at the rail and the leader's back in second. Then comes For the Top, who just tugged out of the straights and now races in third. Alan Kerr, lighter blue colours, is in fourth with Pile Driver a length behind, the white sleeves and the red cap, and in a good rhythm. Burgas is in the open. Then comes Hukum, midfield, white and blue colours, kept company by Dubai Future, who continues to travel at the outside. Glory Vase, light blue colours and the red cap, also midfield. They all in a bunch. Dubai Honor just tries to get a little bit closer. Stella Veloce's got nowhere to go. Then comes Uber Leben, Without a Fight, the first to come off the bridle. Yubiaer's not at the back of the field, but will make a move at the outside of runners, and that leaves Casper at the end of the field, 700 metres out. Authority guides them along. He's led most of the way. He's in front by 1 length, and every time you look, the pace is even better. For the Top is second, Shahryar third. Then comes Burgas into the home straight in the open, in striking distance, but covered ground. Further back then to Alan Kerr. Pile Driver makes a run towards the inside. So too does Glory Vase. Dubai Future, Uber Leben towards the outside. Authority in front. Now being asked the question as Shahryar goes on the attack. Pile Driver but tight for room. Glory Vase. Then comes Alan Kerr, and Yubiaer is taking off towards the outside but running out of real estate. Shahryar the leader. Authority now being passed. Shahryar on the drive to the line will seal for Yubiaer. Shahryar wins Japan again, incredible. Yubiaer second, then came Authority, Pile Driver, Uber Leben. Hukum was next, Alan Kerr, Glory Vase, Stella Veloce, Dubai Honor Without a Fight. They're ahead of Dubai Future, Casper, Burgas, and For the Top.
It's a fantastic 5 for Japan and another great finish. It's gone to Shahryar, just holding off Yubiaer, who's flown home under William Buick. But Shahryar has done it. 3rd win in the UAE for Christian Jimura, a 1st here at Maidan. What a night for Japan. They're unstoppable, Richie, although Charlie Appleby tried hard there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very, very messy race. They went very slow. Christophe went to the front on Authority, and he just stacked them around.
You were loving that, Rich.
But Shahryar was just, yeah, but I just loved where Shahryar was. He was right behind him, so he was well aware to, you know, Christian was well aware when Christophe let the handbrake off, he was going to try and pinch 2 or 3 lengths. I was just happy where he was. You know, there was a lot of horses in behind him, but very, very free. Pile Drive was a little bit gassy with Frankie, but I take full credit to Yubiaer, because where he's come from in such a slowly run race, you could see William make his move slightly earlier than he wanted to, because of the way the pace was going, he had to attack it earlier than I think ideally would suit him. I think a stronger run race, I think we'd have seen a different result.
Yeah, it did level off, but you hear, I didn't even see him till the crowd roared.
No.
I was watching the first two, I said, oh, he's going quirky tonight again. Next minute into my left ear, whoosh!
Yeah.
The crowd has spotted him down at the furlong pole, and he's come down. What do you think, Richie, with tactics, given that there's so many Japanese horses in this race? Would Christian Demiro know what Christophe Lemaire is going to do? Like, he's knocked in behind him. These guys are riding against each other. They're local jockeys as it is, even though the European jockeys, they're both based in Japan. Would that be a big effect on how tactics are played out?
Well,
the fact of watching, they know each other.
Well, as a jockey, you're going through your dangers in the race. So ideally, one of your biggest dangers is authority. He's going to make the running. So that's your pace angle. So you're always wanting in a race to look which horses you want to follow. Your beer is a danger, but he's going to be dropped out last, so you're not going to be following him. So Christian had a good break, good clean break, was able to get right in behind authority. So everyone else is then watching those two, and then Christian's thinking to himself, we are hacking around here. I'm in the right spot, because when Christophe lets the taps on, he's going to get away from us, and then the horses are behind all of a sudden are having to make up 6 lengths. They're going to have to make up 9 lengths because Christophe's going to get that turn of foot. He's going to get away.
And of course, he's on his shoulder just to pull out. It's a great angle here, actually, we have, and he's in the right place. It's almost like a little bit of work for him. Frankie, teeth grinding down the back, literally. Frankie had his, he was hating it, wasn't he? Frankie doesn't like that.
And Frankie, that horse was quite keen with Frankie. There's not many horses you see keen with him. He's got a wonderful pair of hands, but that'll just show you, if you look back through the race, there wasn't many that weren't actually keen in the race.
Yeah.
I think Yabir was probably the most, he is the gassiest horse, but because William had to drop him out, and when I say he's in behind, he switches off, but he's a horse that turns it on very quickly, and you could see the ground he made up from that race. And that was just, William was, it wasn't ideal for him, but he couldn't ride the race any different, because if he put that horse in the race, all of a sudden he does too much and he doesn't get home. So he's had to ride the race accordingly, and he's probably thinking to himself, them on the front end, I'm going to have to make a lot of ground up. So I think full credit goes to Yabir. He's only been come down a neck. I think this is a horse that's starting to hit really good rich trainer form, and he'll be contesting all the big races. I think even from 1.25 miles to 1.5 miles, I think Charlie Appley's just got so much ammunition at that middle distance range.
It's going to be a fantastic summer, isn't it?
He's got Hurricane Lane and Adyar, and he's already said that Yabir will be the one that they, because he's a gelding, he'll be the one that they send on his travel. So
and he's got Manobo as well. They just got so much ammunition, and I think William's headache will be with Charlie. Where we're going to split these up.
Yeah, and where he's going to go, because they're going to be travelling, whether he'll have to stay at home. Big run from the 15, the mare. She hasn't won a race since May, since she won the Japanese Oaks. Big run for her. So even the Japanese outsiders are having a fantastic night tonight.
And Pile Driver in 4th, fantastic result for the team there. Yeah. Proves that Saudi run was not
yeah, and like I say, I met Willie Muir the other day, and he was adamant the horse was in better form he's ever been in. Like I say, he had the gate one. Like I say, probably didn't suit him either, the slow pace. So he comes out with plenty of credit as well. And Frankie was right behind Shahryar, so he was always in the box seat. It was always going to be a struggle for anything that was further back than mid-pack to make up ground. And that's why I think, Yabir comes out of the race with a lot of credit.
Actually, another horse that, given that he had so much room to make up and that I thought ran a better race than I expected, was Hookham. He actually ran really well at the dead. He's just got to Alakir's nose, and he's not in the 6th there on the screen, but I thought he's ran a real big race.
Yeah, I think that, it's a race that we could analyse over and over again, and there's probably, there's a case for 7 or 8 horses that will think, if there was a stronger gallop, that could have run well. But it's one of those races when, it's the old adage saying, when there's a slow pace, you've got to be on the front end of things, and, unfortunately, a lot of the lads were just, they were kind of
victims to the skill of Mr. Lemaire.
No, they were just victims to the way their horses are ridden and the way the race panned out. you know, they were just victims to where they were positioned early, and it was just, it's you know, you can't criticise anyone because that's where you are. You can't go making.
Well, they expected a little bit more pace, given there was 2 from that jar. The goal, the second string dropped in. Would people have anticipated more pace and gone wrong from? Like what happens as a jockey when you jump out? You're in a Grade 1 race like this. It's so hard. Like, do you really sit and suffer?
You have to sit and suffer. Like I say, a lot of hold-up horses, you have to kind of sit and suffer. And like you say, Williams made his move earlier than he'd have liked. You know, the likes of Dubai on it. James he's a hold-up horse. He's had to sit in, and you are a victim to you know what's happening around you. So there was nowhere he could go. He was bang in the middle of the pack there, and you're then just trying to pick your way through it and hoping that it pans out. But like I say, when there's a slowly run race, you're so condensed turning in, and when the taps are turned on, the fronts get away, and you're all on top of each other. So you know, when there's a genuinely good gallop, everything is strung out. So you know the gaps come a lot more easier. Yeah, like I say, there's 7 or 8 horses that will probably, lads will be kicking themselves in there thinking, oh, if there was a strong, but you know, they couldn't go. Yeah. You know, they were just, like I say,
it keeps us on our toes anyway. We've more to talk about, we've more to analyse. You know, nice, simple, straightforward race for us, kick and clear wouldn't have been. No, we've got plenty to analyse out of that. But look, fantastic race. We're after seeing 2 major international races here.
And we're talking about horses that have finished in behind, but I can't take anything away from the winner.
No,
you know, he's a genuine Group 1 horse.
Yeah.
You know, he's behind the Great Contrail. He was behind Authority in the Japan Cup. He's reverse form with Authority, have it be only half a length. But yeah, and the Japanese have just, you've got to.
That really keep the Japanese form strong. The 2 placed horses behind their champion, their unbeaten Triple Crown horse, come out here tonight and represent again. It's just awesome form, isn't it?
And that's what we go back. You know, that's what you have to admire about them. They don't bring their second-rate horses here. You know, apart from the Americans in the big race, they bring their top draw horses. But you know, in the substitute races, they're generally their 2nd or 3rd division horses. In the sprint, in the mile, they're never generally top class. But the Japanese never shy away from bringing, you know, their top draw horses out here,
and they're being rewarded. And that's probably good.
And they're being, the frightening thing is how many they're going to bring next year. Because I think they brought 22 this year. They'll probably double that next year.
Well, we can hear from our winning jockey, Christian Di Muro, has followed what his big brother Mirko did and had a winner on this card. He'll be with Mikey very shortly.
All right, Christian Di Muro, we'll walk with you. When we talked earlier, you seemed quietly confident about this one, and he proved it for you.
Yeah, I have a really good race behind the leader. The horse he beat already in Japan. Yeah. I follow him, and when I come out, he make a good turn of foot. When he take a lead, he stop a little bit, but then he come back again.
And the last couple of years have been huge for your career, obviously with the ARC. But the ARC, in the ARC, you weren't able to be out with a big crowd. What's it like to win a big race like this in front of a crowd?
You know, for one jockey, it's what we dream to win every time. The ARC was one dream. I win now. I show you in every war I can win good race. So today I win again. For me, it's amazing for my career and for everything.
Well, congratulations. We'll get a quick autograph from you if you can.
Yeah.
Wait. Don't you want an agent?
Great scenes, big congratulations to Christian Di Muro and to our winning trainer Hideaki Fujiwara, his 3rd runner in Dubai, his 1st winner, and this is quite an appropriate horse really, Shahryar, because his sire's a great deep impact. His dam was called Dubai Majesty, and one of her other foals was a horse called Alain, who is a Group 1 winner as well, so she's a very good producer of talented horses. And we look at how it was won again, and yeah, as you say, it was messy. It wasn't panning out that well for anyone, least of all William Buick.
No, and like I say, William, you can't ride that horse. I mean, I don't know him, but from what I gather and speaking to people that know the horse better, you can't ride him any differently. And like I say, Jamie Spence was telling me when he rode him in Belmont, you know, you sit last on him, he doesn't pick the bridle up, he's nice and relaxed, but when you switch him on, he turns it on, and he had to get an outrider to pull him up after the race in Belmont. So
it's remarkable actually, Richie, when you look at that. We have a lovely drone shot of it. He hasn't just tucked him in off a slow pace, he's dropped him out. He's left 3 lengths off the heels of the last horse. That's brave.
I think as well, he's probably a horse that isn't sharpened because they've been dropping him out now and getting him switched off. So you kind of let him just fall out the gates. I don't think he's a horse you could then go give him a squeeze.
If he got up on the heels,
and then
he might just
all of a
grab
sudden,
it, wouldn't he?
all of a sudden. So. Yeah, like I say, he was probably the most relaxed out of all the horses.
That's what I thought.
If you look at him,
letting him bowl.
But I think he's a top class horse and going forward. But like I say, we're talking about everything in behind. But like I say, the winner is a top class horse. Full credit to Authority, who's come from Saudi and able to back up another good performance. Willie Muir's been,
Yeah, he'll be thrilled with that, won't he?
He'll reap the rewards with Pile Driver, obviously from that disappointment in Saudi. So, he's got another great horse going forward. And he'll probably target the Coronation Cup again this year.
Yeah, why not? I mean, that's the target for him. I mean, and he's sure to win again. I mean, he's a top
programme,
horse.
isn't the Coronation Cup, King George? You can look at it like that and then maybe think about targets abroad. But Christian De Muro, as I mentioned, he had a little spell here riding locally. That means an awful lot to him. Young man who's recently made all those connections over in Japan and been riding brilliantly. And this is a very special horse. He's only 4 from 7 in his career. He's been very lightly raced. Good training performance, as I said, by the Fujiwara team. First run since that Japan Cup in November, and that was his first run since September. So he's obviously a horse who goes very, very well fresh. And not too many disappointments. I feel like the form horses have come to the top here, really.
I think the only horse that may have been a small bit disappointed, maybe experience has come out with, is Dubai Honor. He's probably the only one that didn't really click. As I said, even Huckham, we talk about a few coming through and the mares ran well there. He's probably the only one, and just at that angle we saw him, he's never really got going. He's sort of 3/4 way back there. He's just in behind Pile Driver. He had every chance. I don't think anybody Pacific had trouble in running. Even so, they've gone slow. It appeared to open up. I didn't see anybody. As you see, they fanned out quite well. So I think everybody's had their chance. And we can just see him there, and he's sort of up and down the one spot today, Richie, isn't he? He was a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, I think he's one that would generally appreciate more of a stronger gallop, but I think he's one as well. This race, obviously, look, they've come here. They haven't come here as a prep race, but it will be another stepping stone, and I do believe he's a Group 1 horse in the making. Where that Group 1 will be, but yeah, there's I think
a little disappointing for William Haggis tonight with some of his runners. Alan Kerr's just there, and he's probably had a mixed night, I'd say. It's not been.
Yeah, he's another one that's come. He came here with a a team that were in good shape. Obviously, Alan Kerr won the Winter Derby, and obviously that form was franked in the last race, so he'd be slightly disappointed. Alan Kerr, you could argue, is he better with a bit more ease in the ground? I'm not quite sure.
Of course, we're different races. I mean, this standard of this race was, far superior to the turf, and that's no disrespect to it, but this was depth.
Yes, I mean, this was the strongest race on the night by far. I think.
Because later on we've an American race really coming up next.
Yeah, I mean there was 8 or 10 genuinely good horses. You could argue, you could make a case for all of them. So like I say, I think going forward there'll be a lot of winners come out of the race.
Yeah, that's what's most important.
I think so as well. It looked strong. It's often one of the strongest turf races in the world when they do the end of season rankings. Authority, who absolutely turned for home bundles of running, was really hard to peg back by Shariar. And I think we've got a very good horse has won this, a horse that will go on and you'd imagine target the Japan Cup at the end of the year, unless they look to targeting the Arc, of course.
Yeah, I mean that's one race that the Japanese, I mean they've been dominant everywhere they've gone, but the one race they really want to win is the Arc. And the interesting thing with that, I'm just looking at that still frame we saw there. I think there's probably only 7 or 8 lengths separates the whole field, so that will tell you exactly how fast they went, because they weren't spread out at all. They were on top of each other. It was a bit like watching racing from Hong Kong. The handicapper's got it literally spot on. But I think that will just show you, because generally this race, there's probably 20 lengths separates first from last, but I think there's probably only 8 lengths separates first from last. But yeah, going back to this horse, it'd be interesting to see whether Christian, who rides in France predominantly, is why he's on the horse going forward. They're going to target the Arc. I know last year they bring them out a lot earlier than they used to, don't they, to get them settled into the environment in Chantilly and the training in Paris. But it's the one race that I think if you ask the Japanese connections that you could give back all your Group 1s you've had in the Middle East over the last sort of
the Japanese
3
public
weeks.
want it, don't they?
They want the ARC,
be pushed
and they bring a huge contingent of supporters even to the ARC.
I think it'd be good for the ARC.
I think it would
make, like, not that the ARC needs any help in publicity,
no,
but I think it would just be probably the icing on the cake for the ARC.
I think, and the world of racing in general. I think, when the filly won the Nassau Stakes with Oshin, that was huge for racing in Japan to have a winner in the UK. But I think the ARC is the one
it's a big step
I
from
think
that.
It would just global. I mean, they are a global giant on the horse racing front, but I think that will just epitomise everything they've done if they're able to get that over the line.
This guy could genuinely be the one to do it.
Yeah, he could. He could
not
well
that they
be.
haven't had genuine contenders before, but this guy just looks. He has it. He has it all. Doesn't he
looks good, but I just think this division at the minute is so strong. From there's about 10 horses that we could, I mean, there's 3 or 4 of them that aren't even out here.
The trainers will be going home now looking, where can I avoid? They'll be trying to get to different places and different angles now.
There's 3 or 4 of them that aren't actually here this weekend. So, I think that European campaign is going to be so strong this year at that middle distances. Like I say, they'll be trying to avoid each other,
I suppose, just going back to the individual horses, I just reminded myself there that Alan Kerr, the last time he disappointed like that actually was in the ARC. He was very keen in the ARC, so maybe they'll have to think about a little bit of pace for him.
Possibly a pacemaker.
Twice now we've had a disappointment from him when there's been no pace. He was very keen in Longchamp. I'm not saying he was over keen here tonight, but it doesn't suit him. So maybe a little bit of a rethink with him.
He could be a horse that may come back to a mile and a quarter as well. Something like the Champion Stakes, end of the year with an ease in the ground.
And of course you'll have the Ballydoyle contingent there, and they tend to give you.
He might well be a horse
automatically.
Yeah, he might be a horse that they might let him just point his toe as well and let him bowl along from the front. Coming back to a mile and a quarter could be an ideal tactic to do.
Lovely scenes there. Christian Demura's young daughter helping him collect the trophy from Patrick Ayoun, who is the regional brand manager for as sponsors Longines. And would you believe the horses are in the parade ring already for the $12 million Dubai World Cup, the pinnacle of the whole season here in the UAE. Edgar, you're going to leave us, but many thanks. It's been a very enjoyable hour with you, and 2 fantastic turf races, of course.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Enjoyed every bit of it, and really looking forward to getting up in the stands there and looking at this race. I think it's going to be like a monster truck carnival here with the Americans just getting on top of everybody. I think it's all about what Life is Good does. He's going to jump, he's going to dictate, and if he goes, it depends on how fast he goes, really, because who can latch onto his tail. But it's an awesome race, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, of course. Many thanks to Edgar Byrne being with us for the last hour or so here on the channel as we have a look at the full, down to 8th order of finish in our Dubai Shima Classic. 1st, 3rd and 5th for Japan, 2nd, 4th, 6th, 7th for the UK. How come finishing just outside the prize money there, unfortunately, for the Owen Burrows team. Only prize money down to 6th this year. We had prize money down to 8th last year. It's just the story has been Japan, hasn't it? They have been absolutely on fire. The brilliance that they've shown this evening. 22 runners, 5 winners. They're down to just 1 now. It will be a surprise if they win the $12 million Dubai World Cup with Chua Wizard, but he was 2nd in the race last year, so we can't diminish his chance too much because we know he likes conditions here.
Yeah, I mean, look, he ran. I think this is slightly a stronger race than last year's renewal. He ran 2nd last year behind Mystic Guide. You can't rule anything out from the